I don't really have too much to say in this intro. Arctovish is an incredibly weird Pokemon. Let's see how it fares. Now, I will be honest with you, the entire reason I am running Arctovish is because I want to see Freeze Dry again. Freeze Dry was such a good move on the Iron Bundle challenge, and I think it's going to prove to be incredibly handy on this challenge as well. If you aren't familiar with Arctovish, consider yourselves lucky first and foremost, but it's one of the Generation 8 fossils, a water and ice type primary water, secondary ice, and we get some very interesting moves. Moves to watch out for are Freeze Dry, once again, that's an ice type move that's super effective against water types. We get Vicious Rend, which doubles its damage if we move first. We also get Icicle Crash, it's a powerful ice type move that has a 30% chance to flinch. But now, as we always do, let's take a look at our stats. We're level 5 with 25 HP, holding a berry, and our two moves are Water Gun and Powder Snow. 15 in attack, 16 in defense, 14 in special attack, 15 in special defense, and 12 in speed. Those are very strong stats for the beginning of the challenge, so let's get the graphics up and the challenge underway. And now, as we're making our way through the first route and rival battle, I just want to ask you all, how was your holiday period? Of course, it was Christmas Day yesterday at the time this video went live, and whether you celebrate or not, I really hope you all had a wonderful day yesterday. Of course, we had the gift lock yesterday. If you haven't seen it, it's a very, very fun, unique challenge, and something I don't think anybody else has ever done in Pokemon Crystal, so please do make sure to give it a watch, but maybe wait until after you've watched this one, because you're already here. Anyway, we are now ready to take on Falconer. He's our first gym leader together. He's a flying type specialist. He leads with Pidgey. We've got an ice type Pokemon. We know how this is going to go. It's a one-shot on the Pidgey with Powder Snow. Pidgeotto comes out to play. We use Powder Snow, we take it deep into the red, we freeze it, we knock it out on turn 2, and that's Falconer defeated in a time of 7 minutes and 3 seconds, and that is with Sprout Tower. Let's take on Bugsy, the Bug-type specialist of Azalea Gym, who leads with Metapod. Icy Wind takes it deep into the red and knocks it out on turn number 2. Kakuna comes out to play and we'll do exactly the same on turn 1, but we'll finish it off with Water Gun. We grow up to 18 as Scyther comes out. We'll use an Icy Wind as Fury Cutter starts building a little bit, but we knock it out in 2 shots and we have defeated Bugsy in 13 minutes and 13 seconds. You know what, it's still the holiday season, so let's keep on celebrating as we go just around the corner for the dreaded Rival 2. Of course, the Rival has the Totodile line in this particular challenge, so it's not going to be a big threat. We've got to get through Ghastly first, and Icy Wind knocks it out. Croconaw comes out to say hello. We'll use a Powder Snow, tries to fish for a freeze, because really there's not much he can do. I decided against using Icy Wind because of the lower accuracy here, and if we did get the freeze it would have made the battle quicker. We finish it off with a Water Gun and out comes Zubat. We'll use Icy Wind on the Zubat, knock it out in 1, and we are through the Rival in 13 minutes and 55 seconds. Right, let's go to a gym leader who might be a threat. This is Whitney. She is, of course, the normal type gym leader, but her signature move is a rock type. We're going to use Ancient Power against the Clefairy, and we get the Omni Boost. We are in such a good position now. We'll finish off Clefairy with a headbutt, out comes the Miltank, we'll keep on headbutting, roll out crits and does next to nothing at all, we flinch the cow, she tries to roll, it doesn't work, we grow to 22, and we defeat Whitney. Time of 18 minutes and 36 seconds for obtaining the Plain Badge. That means we can now head over to Rival number 3, and unlike the last Backport where we had a Water-type Pokemon, we do have Surf this time. That's going to make this battle incredibly easy. Surf is such an overpowered move for this point in the challenge. All the other base 90 to 95 power moves are available after the League unless you get a very rare level up learn set. That is such an imbalance, and it did mean that the Rival stood no chance whatsoever. We'll fall through the floor, we'll take on Morty, and I think the only thing holding us back in this battle is our lack of speed. We put on the Mint Berry as a little bit of insurance against the Gengar, but we one-shot the Ghastly, out comes the Haunter, it goes down in 1. Here comes the Gengar, he tries to send us to sleep, it misses. He hits on turn number 2 though, but we do finish Gengar off. Haunter comes out to play, it's another one-shot, so we're through Morty in a time of 28.39, and we can turn our attention to Jasmine. It's very rare we do Jasmine as number 5, but in this instance it's going to be the best order. And if you're wondering why, it's because we get a defense boost from Jasmine's badge. The two Magnemite go down in a single surf. It's going to be a little bit more complex against the Steelix. We see that very rare sunny day off Steelix as she gets caught in a bit of a healing loop. Jasmine, for whatever reason, goes for Screech. She throws the battle, and that means we obtain our 5th badge in a time of 31 minutes and 43 seconds. Now let's recross the ocean to take on Chuck. He's going to be our 6th gym leader together, a fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. And before the Leah defense drop, our defense had been boosted by 10 points just by getting Jasmine's badge. It's just a shame that Leah actually activated on this battle. I've got to be honest, I threw this first attempt once we got Leah because there was nothing really we could do. All of our moves are pretty naff against this Poliwrath, so the strategy I'm going to try next time is I'm going to fish for the Omniboost. It's a 50% chance of it happening against this Primeape, and honestly Primeape can't hit us that hard at all. Even though it's got a fighting type move, he generally tends to avoid using it. We get the Omniboost and that puts us in much better stead now to take on the Poliwrath. We're going to use Headbutt, we flinch it on turn 1. Dynamic Punch misses on turn 2 and it's all over for Chuck. We grow to level 33 and we obtain the Storm badge in 33 minutes and 32 seconds. That's arguably our hardest gym out of the way. It should be smooth sailing for the rest of Johto now. Let's take on Price because we have to, even though he is a bit of a non-entity in this particular challenge. We headbutt the seal in one shot. We're going to use an Ancient Power on the Dugong. We don't get the Omniboost, but we knock it out in 2. We've got Surf for the Piloswine. We know it's going to be a one-shot. We grow to level 36. And we defeat Price in a time of 39 minutes and 59 seconds. Let's now take a trip into the Goldenrod Underground where we're going to get ambushed by the rival for a 4th time. This time, of course, he's going to lead with Golbat. We're still rocking Icy Wind at this point, which is a bit of a rubbish ice-type move, but it's just about able to one-shot Golbat. Out comes Magnemite, we'll use Surf against that. It's a much better move than Icy Wind, it knocks it out in 1. Haunter doesn't survive either, and here comes Sneasel Pleasel. We've got Ancient Power for the Sneasel, we knock it out in 1, and he's only got Feraligatr left to go. We're going to use a few headbutts against the Feraligatr to try and knock it out and get a couple of flinches. Feraligator's relatively harmless at this point in the challenge, so it didn't really matter if he didn't flinch. We get through him and we can move to Claire. And do you see what I see? We've got Freeze Dry again. That is going to make this an incredibly easy battle. It's going to be 2 times super effective against all 3 of Claire's Dragonair, but when it comes to the Kingdra, it's going to be 4 times super effective. We knock it out in 1, she stood no chance whatsoever, and for once I can actually understand why she threw a little bit of a hissy fit. That is one of the most busted moves I have ever backported, and you know what? I love it. Let's take on the 5th and final rival battle now. He's going to lead with Sneasel, we'll use an Ancient Power, we knock it out in 1, and up next is Magneton. We'll Surf on the Magneton, it goes down in 1 as well, and the 3rd Pokemon is Haunter. Surf's still the order of the day as we knock that out in a single hit. We swap to Headbutt for the Kadabra. The penultimate Pokemon's going to be Feraligatr, we've got Freeze Dry for that. We'll use it, it's super effective, we knock it out in 1. We grow to level 47, the last Pokemon's Golbat, Freeze Dry super effective once more. We are through the final rival battle in 57 minutes and 4 seconds. And with that, we're at the Pokemon League, we're not even going to bother to heal up. Instead, we're going to go straight to thanking Kenya Abra Psyduck and saying mercy to Paris. We're going to buy our 4 full restores and then we'll take a little look at our stats before we head into the league. And we're shaping up like this time. We are level 47 with 169 HP, holding the Scamulet coin with Freeze Dry, Ancient's Power, Headbutt and Surf, 122 in attack, 129 in defense, 114 in special attack, 123 in special defense, but just 90 in speed. Those are the outer battle stats. We'll get a big buff in battle thanks to our badges against Will. He's our first league member, a Psychic type specialist who leads with Xatu. Freeze Dry one-shots to Xatu, so he sends out Jinx. We'll use an Ancient's Power against the Jinx and she goes down incredibly easily. We've got Freeze Dry for Executor and that's another one-shot. And up next is Slowbro. Freeze Dry shows just how overpowered it is by making mincemeat of the Slowbro, and it's going to do exactly the same for the last Xatu as well. A very quick wheel battle in 58 minutes and 51 seconds. Let's move on to Koga. Koga's a poison type specialist, he leads with Ariados. We're going to use Surf against the Ariados, skip the super effective text box from Ancient Power, and then we will use an Ancient Power against Venomoth. It's not a one-shot either way, but I was fishing for an Omni boost, and honestly that was just because I was a little bit greedy. We take on the Fortress, it goes down in 2 Surfs, and the penultimate Pokemon is Muck. Muck gets a chance to show off its bulk here because we're going to be 3-shotting it. We end up badly poisoned, and that means Koga's going to try and stall. We're going to use Freeze Dry, it lands, and we get our first freeze in the league. He gets caught in a healing loop, we Freeze Dry once more, and yet again we get another freeze. He uses a full heal, we knock it out on the next turn, we get the option to learn Super Fang, which we're not going to do, and that means we had a very lucky escape against Koga. Let's try and keep this luck going against Bruno. He's the fighting type specialist who leads with Hitmontop. We fish for the flinch with Headbutt, but it doesn't work out, but we are able to finish off the Hitmontop with a Freeze Dry. Up next is Hitmonlee. We're going to use the same strategy of fishing for a flinch and hoping for the best, but it doesn't work out, we end up getting double kicked. We finish it off on turn 2 and the third Pokemon is Hitmonchan. We get our guaranteed damage from Muck Punch and once again Freeze Dry freezes. We are 3 for 3 where it was possible. Are we going to make it 4 for 4? The answer is yes. I don't know what was going on with the luck in this league. It just seemed like every time we needed a freeze, it was guaranteed. As we'll see throughout the course of the Kanto section, it wasn't guaranteed at all. We just had the single best set of RNG I think I will ever get in a challenge run. We are talking fractions of a % chance of these freezes happening, but it happened once again against Karen's Umbreon. We don't get the chance to freeze the Vileplume because we knock it out in 1. Gengar comes out to play, I decide to not push my luck with Freeze Dry and we're just going to go for Surf. It swears at us so it goes down in 1 turn. We'll continue surfing against the Houndoom, the last Pokemon's Murkrow. We know that's going to go down to a single Freeze Dry and that means we're through Karen in 1 hour, 1 minute and 42 seconds. And there's only one obstacle now between us and the Hall of Fame. It's time for Lance the Liar with the Flyers and he's going to lead with Gyarados. Freeze Dry is going to be 4 times super effective against Gyarados, so that is a guaranteed one-shot. It's also going to be 4 times super effective against the Dragonite line. We grow to level 51, the second Dragonite comes out to play, it goes down in 1 shot as well, and the next Pokemon is Aerodactyl. Rock Slide hits like a truck, but it doesn't flinch us, and that means we knock out the Aerodactyl in 1. The last Dragonite goes down straight away as well, we've just got Charizard left to go. Ancient's Power is 4 times super effective, and we have defeated Lance in a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes and 34 seconds. And that means our final Hall of Fame time is 1 hour, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Goodness me, I still cannot believe that Freeze Dry luck through the league. We'll have to see if we've used up all of our luck already, because of course this is only half of the story, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we rejoin the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time from the chairman of the Pokemon fan club. With that safely tucked away in our pack for another run, I am more than pleased to announce that Arctovish is more than capable of taking on our standard Kantonian routing. So as always, we'll start here in Vermilion City with Lieutenant Surge, we'll finish off in Viridian City with Blue, and we'll have 6 other gym leaders in between. Talking of Blue, if you do want to skip ahead, the Blue fight is going to be starting at around about 16 minutes and 25 seconds. For everybody else, let's now sit back, relax, and have our regular Kantonian chat. And in this one I want to talk to you all a little bit about some of the projects I've been doing on the side, some of which will make it to this channel, others I'm sure will make it to my Squidgy Extras channel. By the way, if you aren't subscribed to Squidgy Extras, please do feel free to go there. It's youtube.com/@SquidgyExtras. It's where I put all of my non-Pokemon related gaming gubbins, and it would be an absolute pleasure to see you over there, but anyway, I'm digressing. One of the big things I've been working on at the moment is the Generation 1 Challenge Run patch. I'm creating one for Red and Blue and I'm also creating one for Yellow. At the moment it's slightly more feature restricted than our Generation 2 Challenge patch, and it's not quite ready to be released to the public yet, because I've got to figure out a nice and clean way to get a scrolling menu just like Generation 2's scrolling menu into the game. But once that is done, we will be good to go, and I'll also be releasing a bunch of Pokemon Yellow backports. I'm planning to do a lot of those on the channel as well, so if you do want to see them, please do let me know. And would you like to see them either as a live stream where we experience all the pain and suffering of the Generation 1 jank together in real time, or would you like them condensed down into regular challenge run videos? I'm more than happy to do either. I'm not quite sure which I think will do better, which is why I'm opening it up to all of you wonderful people out there. Like I always say, this channel would be nothing without all of you, so I really do value your input. My plan for Generation 1 is to completely avoid the regular Generation 1 decks. I think at this point it's been done to death by so many fantastic content creators, and I don't think I'd be able to bring anything new to the table. However, when we bring backports into the mix, I think that changes everything. I really want to do some of our classic challenges together here on the channel, but in a Generation 1 setting. And by that, I don't just mean the Pokemon that topped the leaderboard. I'm talking Pokemon like Magcargo, who really is the channel mascot at this point. Shuckle's another one I want to do, and I've already created the backports for both of those Pokemon. I've created my own Smeargle backport. We'll be doing that once I've learnt enough about Generation 1 to feel comfortable using Sketch. And I'm sure there are plenty of other challenges, both good and bad, that we've done together here on the channel that really would prove to be incredibly different when it goes to Generation 1. Take a Pokemon like Zangoose, for example. When we ran that as a backport in Generation 2, it's completely wrecked every single trainer's day. But we have a much worse start in Generation 1, because our first gym leader is a rock type, and will only have normal type moves. And then for a Pokemon like Corsola, we don't have the worry of Mudslap to begin with, so we can go straight into racing through the first gym. It's going to be very fun, it's going to be very interesting, and I really think we could flesh out an incredibly unique Generation 1 leaderboard. And that does mean, of course, if there's any Pokemon you are desperate to see in Generation 1 that doesn't natively exist in there, now is the time to let me know before I start fully planning for this little series. Anything that we've run together here on the channel that isn't part of the original 151 Pokédex is on the table. I will consider every single request, and if I can make it happen, I definitely will give it a very good go. But now let's rejoin the action here at Blue. He's our final gym leader of the challenge. He is of course a mixed type specialist who leads with Pidgeot. We'll use Freeze Dry against Pidgeot, we knock it out in 1, we grow to level 59, and here comes Alakazam. We go for Headbutt, but he outspeeds and sets up a Reflect. That isn't a great start, but we finish it off with Surf. Rhydon comes out to play, we'll use Surf against it, we knock it out in 1 as well, and the fourth Pokemon is Gyarados. We've got Freeze Dry, much like it was against Lance, it's going to be a one-shot, and the penultimate Pokemon is Exeggutor. Freeze Dry takes it deep into the red, we knock it out on turn number 2. Arcanine's the last one, we've got Surf, we know how it's going to go. We knock it out in one shot and we obtain our final gym badge, the Earth Badge, in a time of 1 hour, 18 minutes and 55 seconds. And after a little detour via Route 1 to get the experience we need to get up to level 60, it's time to take on Red. He's our final trainer of the challenge and he leads with Pikachu. Of course, the first thing we notice is we don't outspeed the Pikachu. We get hit by Thunder and we have to take a reset. We'll try again, Charm misses this time and Surf is not a one-shot. That is not a particularly good start. Pikachu gets caught in a healing loop, but we are at the mercy of the RNG. We get knocked out by Thunder and we use 3 rare candies. I had to go back to Blackthorn just to remove Surf off the learn set, and we have learnt Vicious Rend in its place. Vicious Rend doubles damage if we go first, so we're combining it with the Quick Claw. We get hit by Psychic off Espeon, 2 Psychics takes us deep into the red, and we're only on 25 HP for the Snorlax. Vicious Rend does an awful lot, but Body Slam knocks us out. We go up to level 66 and we try again. Against this Pikachu, the only thing that's acceptable is a Quick Claw activation. We need to go first in order to do the double damage. It didn't happen, so we use a few more rare candies and we're also going to learn Icicle Crash. I say yes to it because that means we have a very powerful stab flinching move. We're back onto the Pikachu now, Charm misses, and I go for a different strategy. This time I am looking for Charm to hit so that we can start fishing for Ancient Power Omni Boosts. And we get the perfect luck because we get an Omni Boost, but Thunder misses. That means we are now going to outspeed all of Red's team. We don't care if Pikachu gets caught in a healing loop, we can knock it out in 1 with Vicious Rend. Up next is Espeon. Vicious Rend is going to do huge amounts of damage because we go first. The third Pokemon is Snorlax. This is the only one that could be a little bit of a threat. Vicious Rend, however, takes it deep into the yellow and knocks it out even with an Amnesia. We've got Venusaur next. Freeze Dry isn't quite a one-shot, but because Solar Beam's a 2-turn move, we almost always have a free turn against the Venusaur. The second to last Pokemon is Blastoise, Freeze Dry critical hits, and our final one is Charizard. Instincts took over and I went for Ancient's Power there. Probably should have gone for Vicious Rend, which is what we do on turn number 2 to defeat Red. And we have our final time of 1 hour, 25 minutes and 16 seconds. Much like Piloswine, I think luck played a huge part of this challenge, but if we were on the main series leaderboard, we would be in 25th position, nestled quite nicely in between Charizard and Farfetch'd, but of course we are not on the main series leaderboard here. We are going to see where we are on the Backport leaderboard, and it's a very, very proud 9th place for Arctovish. I think that's roughly where it should be. I don't think it should be as slow as Glaceon, but I definitely don't think it should be in that upper echelon of Pokemon. We've got Galvantula and Abomasnow heading up page 2 now, and with that, we are done. So I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you have, please do make sure to leave a like. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more challenges just like this, and until next time when we're running Gligar through Pokemon Crystal, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.